Good morning, Dreamhouse Nation. James Lewis of TDH. Joining us today is the boxer, Michael Angeletti. Michael, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, man, thank y'all for having me on, man.
Congratulations on being the PBC's Prospect of the Year.
Yes, thank you. Major accomplishment right there.
Definitely. So, what sports did you play when you were growing up?
I played a bit of everything, man. I played football. I've been in track and field and basketball. Those are the main sports that I played, and then eventually grew out of those and started boxing.
Definitely. So, why did you leave basketball for boxing?
Well, my very first love for sports was football, and I was playing that pretty much my entire life. So I started playing football at the age of 5, and then as you get older, you want to tap into other sports and stuff like that. So then, after Hurricane Katrina happened, I'm from New Orleans, so after Hurricane Katrina happened, I then tapped into boxing and just fell in love and pretty much kicked everything else out and grew out of everything else and just full-time started boxing.
Nice. I understand. Didn't you have a family member that had some boxing tapes that also inspired it?
No, man, I'm the first boxer in my family. Now I had some family that was fans of boxing, and we had a lot of boxing tapes. No boxers in my family, but we have boxing tapes playing around the house. And who inspired me the most was Roy Jones Jr. That's pretty much my inspiration of why I started boxing.
Awesome. So your dad was a big boxing fan, had the Roy Jones Jr. tapes, and seeing Roy perform inspired you?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, seeing just the way how fast he was, and how powerful he was, and just the swag that he had in the ring, the confidence that he had, it just inspired me. Like, I wanted to do that. I wanted to, be like that.
So tell us about your time with Team USA.
Team USA was fun. As an amateur, that's what you dream to get on, because you know that you're the best in the country. You get to represent the USA, and you get to travel overseas and fight different countries while you represent your country, the USA. And so, fighting for the Team USA, that was a major accomplishment for me. It was very fun. I got to travel to Russia, Ireland, Great Britain, Germany, Poland, Bulgaria, Nicaragua. I'm sure I'm leaving some stuff out, but man, I got to travel and see the way that they live their life and stuff like that. And it's just fun to see the different cultures.
So as a young man, you saw probably more of the world than most people do in an entire lifetime.
I think so. Yeah. It was a blessing.
So how close were you to making the Olympics?
So in 2015 is when my first time I was trying to go to the 2016 Olympics, and I fell short. And so at that point, man, I wanted to turn pro in 2016, but I had family and guidance that told me to continue on. Let's try to make this Team USA, and let's keep fighting. Let's keep trying to get to the Olympics. So that next year, in 2016, after the Rio Olympics 2016 was done, I stayed amateur, and that very next year, 2017, I actually made the team. And so that's when I first made the team, and then I was fighting overseas for the next 2 to 3 years, and then I also fought in the Olympic trials, and I lost in Olympic trials. I came up short, and then that's when I decided to turn pro.
Oh, definitely. I was going to say the Olympic trials, I mean, they're one of the hardest things out there. And one of our repeat guests on our show, Dan Severn, who is in all of the Hall of Fames, literally, I think he's in all of them except for maybe the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And he might even be in that, knowing him. He was runner up in the Olympics twice to be the participant. Like he was the alternate. That's what it was. So I was going to say,
okay.
To be able to get that far is, I mean, just phenomenal.
Major still, that's major accomplishment.
And then you made your professional debut in 2022. Is that correct? I mean, 2020.
2020, December of 2020.
Excellent. So at the end of the year, tell us about that first professional fight?
So with COVID happening in 2020, I had a layoff. I had no amateur fights, and there wasn't a lot going on because of COVID. And so my first fight, it was my first time fighting since 2000. I want to say 19, late 2019 was my last amateur fight in Olympic trials. And so my first fight, I didn't fight in a long, long time. I was very inactive. And so just that first, I was very nervous. It was almost like my first amateur fight again, the nerves and stuff like that. And plus, I was used to fighting crowds. Since COVID was going on, it was no crowd, it was no audience. It was just the judges, your team versus that team, your coaches and their coaches, and you two in the ring. And so it was very nerve-wracking. I went in there with a game plan, and I kind of threw all that out the window after the first bell. After the first round, I didn't do anything we practiced on. So it was that. But then the second round, I calmed down and I relaxed. And then the second round, I think that's when I knocked the guy out.
So it sounds like it had been about a year to almost 2 years in between fights.
Yeah, since I had fought, because of the COVID, so they didn't really have too much going on. So I had a pretty big layoff.
So how would you describe your fighting style? Is it like Roy Jones? Is it like Mayweather? Who are you similar to?
Man, I try to take away things from all those guys. I study Roy, I study Floyd, I study Andre Ward. So what I do is, I take a couple of things from everybody and just mix it all up and become that. So I definitely study Roy, Floyd. Those two guys are the most guys that I watch the most, and I try to pick up from and study film on those guys. So my style is more like those guys.
When I've talked to boxing experts, they always talk about your jarring jab. Why is your jab so powerful?
Well, that's one of the very first punches that you learn when you start boxing. Your jab can you can get people in trouble, and it can take you out of trouble. So I think the jab is one of the most important and effective punches in boxing. And so me, with my size, for my weight class, my range and my longness, my jab is what sets me apart from other guys. The quickness of it and just how rangy I am with it.
What role has Jeff, and I'm going to butcher his last name, Shillett, played in your life? Angeletti played inside and outside of the ring.
Well, he's pretty young too. He's on a up and coming. I'm his only pro boxer, but we've been the chemistry between us two has been always been there from day one. And so when I was younger, I moved around a lot, different gyms. My family moved me around a lot, just trying to find the right person to guide me and just find the right chemistry. And you just know it when you trust someone and you get with someone. You just know, and so it's been all good since day one. And so he played a major role in my boxing career.
And then nowadays, I understand you're with the Elite Boxing Academy. Is that correct?
I train with two different gyms: the Elite Boxing Academy and Angeletti's Boxing and Fitness Gym.
Nice. And so obviously things are going great. You're 7-0. What are some of the highlights of that win streak?
My last 5 has come by way of knockout, and we're just trying to, step it up. We want to try to get a belt by the end of this year, so we're stepping up the competition. I'm not really moving at a slow pace. I'm moving at a pretty fast pace as far as competition and trying to get a belt by the end of this year, one of the world championship belts by the end of this year. And my last fight was my biggest fight to date. I beat an upcoming prospect, and he was 7-0, and we both was undefeated. And so I gave him his first loss and stopped him knockout. And so that has been probably the highlight of my entire career so far.
Nice. And then besides your jab, you're known for your high in-ring IQ. What do you attribute that to?
I'm super tall for my weight, and so I just know how to use my advantages, and I'm a pretty big. Even though I fight at a low weight class, but I'm a pretty big guy for my weight, and so that gives me all the advantages that I would want to have. I'm the bigger guy naturally, and the stronger guy most of the time, and so I just have so many different advantages.
So you use a lot of your natural gifts.
Yes.
How disappointed were you that you weren't able to fight in the Martin Rivera card?
Oh man, I was, how you just work extremely hard preparing for a fight, and then you get a last minute phone call that the guy dropped out. I'm not sure why, what was the reason for it, but it's very frustrating, but it comes with the game. I mean, it happens to several guys. You just gotta, roll with the punches, roll with the bad things, just keep it going, and just get ready for the next one. Stay in the gym, stay consistent. Keep training hard. You can't really do much about it if they pull back out. And the timing that they backed out the fight was a week before, so it was going to be pretty hard. It was going to be pretty hard to find somebody to accept the fight on a 1 week's notice. Now they got guys that do it, but it's going to be pretty hard.
So when is your next fight?
So right now we're getting ready for February 11th in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome on Oshaki Foster versus Ray Vargas.
Wow. So when you're not fighting in the ring, I understand that you're fighting for your clients as a real estate agent outside the ring. What's that like?
Yes, sir. So real estate has been, as I was fighting in the amateurs, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to box forever. And so I just wanted to find a plan B, because you never know, something might go wrong in the gym or in a fight, and I can't box anymore. So that was right now it's like a side job, but definitely once I finish my career in boxing, I'll be full time with the real estate. Now, ever since I was a kid working for different little small jobs and restaurants, I never wanted someone to be my boss. And so with the real estate, it gives you the freedom of, you going out there and hustling and doing everything on your time. You don't have somebody standing over you and telling you what to do. And so that was the main reason for me getting my real estate license. And real estate so far has been going great. I'm loving it and loving the money that comes with it. And I'm loving the clients that I'm getting. And, it just feels good when you're able to help someone out.
Definitely. Actually, it's funny. You're my second boxing guest today that is going in and does real estate. Rudy Bandini, who's a model worldwide, he also does the real estate, and he had been a world champion boxer at one point.
Okay, that's nice.
So it's just kind of one of them small world situations.
What's his name again?
Rudy Bandini. He was a heavyweight boxer, and now he models for all the top magazines and companies.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Yeah. So I was going to say, shoot, that's always an option for you as well, along with the real estate agent thing. I was going to say, being a boxer, I'm sure you're in quite good condition.
Oh, of course, got to be. You have to be.
Heck yeah. Well, Michael, it has been a pleasure having you on the show today. Where on social media, where on the web, where can our listeners find out more about you and that upcoming fight?
I'm on Instagram at team_Angeletti, on Facebook as Michael Angeletti, and on Twitter as Angeletti_1. I will be fighting February 11th in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us today, Michael.
Thank you.
Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom has products in stock and available to take home today. With 5 stores and almost 40 years in business, they are Ohio's appliance experts, and they help you to get the right product at the right price with a huge inventory. You can save 30 to 60% every day on everything from Bosch and Viking to LG, GE, and KitchenAid at unbeatable savings and in stock. Plus, Mattress Kingdom inside Appliance Factory has everything from Tempur-Pedic and Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and DreamCloud mattresses in stock. Stop by any one of Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom's 5 Ohio locations today, or visit online at appliancefactory.com.
Good morning, Dreamhouse Nation. James Lewis of TDH. Joining us today is the MMA fighter Kai Kamaka. He is part of the featherweight division for Bellator Fighting. Kai, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So what was it like learning martial arts from your father?
It was good. It was different. I was brought up in a different time. My uncles had a lot of input or had a lot of influence on my career as well. My Uncle Ray, my Uncle Ron. But yeah, my dad kind of my dad pretty much had put in the athletic base of my skills. You know, he put us in a vast a variety of sports, and that's how it helps me in development for fighting.
Nice. So what did you take away from your time at Midland University?
Midland University was a good culture shock. I was away for 3 years in college in the Midwest. Got to wrestle in college at the NAIA level. It just growth, maturity. I got to grow as a person.
So how has your wrestling background positively impacted your MMA career?
As a kid from Hawaii, you know, it's a lot more. You're a lot more at a disadvantage just because you wrestle. The wrestling population in Hawaii isn't that big. Our population in general isn't that big. So just putting myself in a better situation to prepare me for what I want to do in life. I ended up going to college and wrestling at a higher level. So it definitely catapulted my wrestling for MMA.
So who are some of the fighters that studied at 808 Fight Factory?
808 is no longer a team anymore, but a lot of us there was a lot of fighters that came from there that, like me, I grew up around that gym. I grew up around a lot of fight, like my Uncle Ron, John, Nico Vitale. Those are some of the guys that are legends in Hawaii MMA who started out 808 Fight Factory.
So who are your coaches at Extreme Couture Mixed Martial Arts?
At Extreme Couture, my coaches are Eric Nixick, Eddie Baracco, and I pretty much use all the coaches there for any advice I can get. So
what are some of the reasons that Extreme Couture was the 2021 Gym of the Year?
Just in Vegas, you just got a lot of hungry guys. You got a lot of hungry guys coming out of Vegas in the fight capital of the world. And it's just, it's real convenient. You know, you got the UFC PI right there. So a lot of guys shuffle in through Extreme Couture, and you know, you get blessed to see all these different people from different sides of the world, and then you have guys that are staples at Extreme Couture who are just hungry to make it to the top.
So in other words, it sounds like it's a very strong gym with the intensity and the dedication factor.
Yeah, 100%. You got a lot of young guys who want to make it out. Yeah, it's a good place.
How nice was it to have your first two fights with Bellator in your home state of Hawaii?
Oh, it was good to kind of break me in, you know, to the next stage of MMA, the bigger shows, and it was good to have it conveniently at home. So yeah, it was good. It was good to break me into a bigger promotion.
What was the difference between UFC and Bellator MMA?
To me, not much of a difference. I get to do what I love for a living, and that's that. I get to wake up every day and compete at the highest level. The only difference was a different platform, and there are some things behind the scenes that, you know, they're just not the same. But all in all, and the Bellator and UFC, as for a fighter, fighting at the highest level, you cannot go wrong.
Exactly. You're right. I mean, they're both great organizations, and definitely the competition level in both of them is phenomenal. So why did you relocate to Las Vegas, Nevada?
You know, it's the ninth island, they say. There's a lot of Hawaiians there. But yeah, for Extreme Couture, I had some relationships with people in that gym, and I wanted to make a slight change. So I did, and that was the first place that that I wanted to make home.
Walk us through your recent fight at Bellator 289.
So yeah, it was a good night for me. I had to work on a lot of things that I was working on for the last 6 months, and it was a good night.
What were some of those things that you had been working on that you were able to implement during the fight?
I wanted to just, work on things that, like, behind the scenes that people don't see, the warm up, the controlling of my heart rate, the breathing, and just things like the things that I wake up and I eat on a day, on fight day. Those are a lot of things that I was working on, and people don't see the side that fighters play with, that they try to figure out, and that was not another opportunity to do those kind of things, because you don't get to see that until fight night.
One of those things that you probably don't even need to improve, but I'm sure you're always working on, is your cardio. And the reason why I say that is you've been able to win 8 fights via decision. Do you equate those victories to your excellent cardio endurance?
Yeah, I do. I focus a lot on my endurance. It's nice to get the finish, but you gotta be prepared to go 15 minutes or longer every time. And I make sure I do that first and foremost before I go in that cage. And yeah, sure I win those. I've won some decisions, but it's just attributes to me, the work that I put in and the ability to finish strong.
How proud are you of your cousin Ray Cooper?
I'm very proud of him. I can't wait to see that guy back in the cage. He's like my idol that I get to be alongside with in this career, and I'm happy for all his success.
Why are so many of the best pound for pound fighters in the featherweight division?
You gotta. I think that like the 145 division is like the average person size. We walk around like 160 to 170, and so you get just a lot of population at that weight class. So, I feel like you're doomed to get a lot of good fighters that come out of that weight class.
So what are some of your goals for 2023?
2023, I want to get 3 fights in. I want to be 3-0, and I want to just, work my way to the top of the rankings.
Do you have any fights scheduled yet?
Not yet. I'm currently trying to get it booked as soon as possible.
And then, what is your normal, day like? What do you do to train when you're not heading towards a fight?
Sure, I'm always training. That's the main thing, because I don't know when I'm gonna get a fight, and I always want to fight. So I'm always training. My day to day is I wake up, I wake my kids up, and then I get ready for my first training session. After that, a few hours, I come home about 12 p.m. and then we have lunch. I try to either take a nap, or I watch some film, and then I go back to training at 7 p.m. at night.
So before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web, where can our listeners find out more about you?
You can look at me on Twitter and Instagram, like Kaiboy Kamaka, Kiboi Kamaka on Instagram and Twitter.
Well, it has been a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Have a good one.
Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom has products in stock and available to take home today. With 5 stores and almost 40 years in business, they are Ohio's appliance experts, and they help you to get the right product at the right price with a huge inventory. You can save 30 to 60% every day on everything from Bosch and Viking to LG, GE, and KitchenAid at unbeatable savings and in stock. Plus, Mattress Kingdom inside Appliance Factory has everything from Tempur-Pedic and Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Dream Cloud mattresses in stock. Stop by any one of Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom's 5 Ohio locations today, or visit online at appliancefactory.com.
Good morning, Dreamhouse Nation. James Lewis of TDH joining us today from the LFC is a 4-time world boxing champion. She's also a Hall of Famer. She's a legend in the world of boxing and is going to go into the LFC. Hollie Dunaway. Hollie, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me on.
It's our pleasure. What sports did you play growing up?
Oh, gosh, none. I grew up on a farm in Arkansas in the middle of nowhere, and I always wanted to play sports, but I had a brother about the same age as me, and we just fought constantly. So wrestling's about the only sport I ever got to try, and I guess it worked out for me.
Yeah, I'd say so. Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured, shoot, you'd grown up playing and training and all that stuff, but I guess
I was baling hay and carrying buckets of water up to the troughs, and I was a farmhand.
Well, you're right.
But it made me really hungry to play sports. I probably wouldn't have dedicated my life to it as soon as I turned 18 had I, I would have just took it for granted if it was just another sport to me.
Exactly. So maybe that is what the secret is, the inspiration, the passion behind it.
Yeah, deprivation.
Exactly.
Deprive your child.
So why did you become a boxer?
Oh, a boxer of all things. So the opportunity just presented itself as soon as I turned 18. I walked into a fitness center, and there was a boxing gym inside of the place. I didn't even go in there for boxing. I went in there for like the hot tub and sauna and lifting weights. And anyway, but there was a little Asian girl in there that was 4'10", 100 pounds. And her trainers saw me, and they're like, "Hey, how old are you?" And I told them I was 18. They're like, "It's so hard for us to find adult women who are only 100 pounds." They're like, if we train you for free, would you have any interest in fighting her? And I was like, sure, and so that's kind of how it started. But it moved a lot faster than I thought it would, because literally 2 weeks after they were like, "This is how you throw a jab," I was in my first pro fight in Memphis, Tennessee at the New Daisy Theater. So I was getting my butt kicked, but I just had never had anybody cheer for me before, and I never felt like a superstar before, and it was really addictive. So I knew I didn't want to lose anymore, but I just never experienced anything like that. Like I went home with I knew I was ready to dedicate. I wanted this to be my life.
Where does the nickname Hot Stuff come from?
My first trainer gave it to me. I promise I didn't come up with that myself. But I used to, my ring intro was that Donna Summers, "Looking for some hot stuff" song. So it didn't matter what country I was fighting in. Everybody knew that song. And, I guess they're like, if you're going to call yourself Hot Stuff, you must be hot. So I guess their curiosity sold tickets for me.
Nice. Of those 4 world titles, which one meant the most to you?
That's a tough question. So 2 of those world titles I won in Budapest, Hungary. I went over there and upset their champion, and it's really tough to get a fair decision in another country. So those did mean a lot, but I guess the one that means the most would be the WIBA strawweight world title, just because I defended it the most. And then I got to defend it one time against the girl who beat me on my pro debut. And I was so hungry for that one. I didn't even sit down for 10 rounds. I beat her all 10 rounds on all judges' scorecards. I just stared at her like an animal standing in my corner in between rounds. And I was so hungry. And so it was like the most pride I had ever felt with any title defense.
Oh, that is awesome. It's always great to get closure. Yeah. And I mean, that must definitely have felt phenomenal. Speaking of feeling phenomenal, going into the Boxing Hall of Fame, tell us a little bit about that.
Oh gosh. At first I was almost, this sounds bad. I was almost insulted, because in my mind, I thought I wasn't done with boxing. I was like, oh, y'all think I'm done. Like, cause I just had a pro fight some months before they inducted me into the Boxing Hall of Fame. And so I was like, no, I'm not done. But then, I just kind of, I'm going to have another pro fight, next year. I kept saying, like, at the beginning of next year. And that happened for about 3 years, when I realized, like, hey, maybe I don't want to go back. And, I kind of realized that I guess they predicted that Hall of Fame at the exact right time, because I guess I was done. But once I experienced like freedom and not living a really strict life, it's tough to go back to that. I didn't really know any other way. I grew up really strict, and then I transitioned straight into pro boxing, and it's like, you can't have a social life, and you can't drink alcohol. You can't, do this and that. And I just didn't even realize what I was missing out on.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like you've joined back into that life with the LFC.
Yeah, for sure. But it's, the LFC is more like pro wrestling, MMA. With wrestling, you get to put people in holds and kind of like rest and hold them there. You're like, oh, you can't get out? Good. We're going to stay here a minute. In boxing, you can't do that. I was fighting 10 rounds every time, and there's no getting prepared. You can't get in good enough shape for that. You're going to be dog tired every single time. So it's a different level of having to like give your life up for wrestling than it is for boxing.
Well, what inspired you to join the LFC?
Oh gosh. So, I posed for Penthouse magazine a few years ago. So I've always been, a little bit of a nudist and just comfortable in my own skin. So the lingerie aspect was like, not everybody could be comfortable with that. And, a lot of the girls, they're just wrestlers. And this is sort of a mixed martial arts event, where they allow like not barefisted, but might as well be to me. I never got to fight with MMA gloves before, only 8 ounce. I figured no matter what trouble I get into with these wrestlers, like I can gut them with a body shot, because I'm pretty precise at, placement with my body shot. So, if they do anything, they kick me or choke me and it hurts or something, I'll sit them down.
Exactly.
So I figure I'm safe.
Yeah, having that background in boxing, I mean, being a Hall of Famer, definitely for that to be able to rely on it has got to be something great.
Yeah, it's my backup if anything goes wrong. But I've been wrestling. I've been doing submission wrestling for a living for the last 11 years, and I haven't lost since about 2 months after I first started. I went and competed in a tournament and lost to some top girls. In like a 2-day period, I lost 3 of them, and then that was my last time losing any fight. So I've just been getting better, and kind of traded boxing for wrestling just because it's not such a strict life.
So when is LFC 37?
Valentine's Day, next Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
February. Yeah. So it's in Las Vegas, and I'm flying out there this weekend. Gonna head to the training center and try to acclimate to that dry climate, because I'm in Fort Lauderdale. I'm used to breathing in all this moisture, and it does make a difference when you're putting your lungs through that dry climate. It's a little more. It's just a change that I got to adapt to. So once I get out there, I'm gonna get some sprints in and just do some stuff to work my lungs.
Definitely. I mean, I'm sure it's the same thing with when people go to like Denver and the higher atmosphere. I mean, just
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst. I fought in Lake Tahoe one time, and oh man, that was some trauma when you're like give up your life to get prepared physically, and then because at that altitude you're only getting like 1/3 the oxygen, and your body will betray you without oxygen. So it doesn't matter how much of a better fighter you are than that person. You gotta acclimate. It's important.
Which team are you on?
The pink team.
Ooh, nice.
So it's the coach for the pink team. They said that it's the winningest coach. So he's won the most out of all the the previous 37 LFC events. So I guess I'm in good hands. He's supposed to be a little bit of a comedian, so I'm sure some of the banter in between rounds is going to be kind of fun. But I don't know what anybody could really tell me. I'll take direction from the coach, but nobody can fight the fight for you. So
exactly. And with having the amount of experience that you have, like you said, I mean, there's not too much that they're going to show you at the fight. I mean, maybe if it was, somebody who was like into MMA or something, or maybe wrestling, might be able to give you a little hint every now and again.
Sure.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you already know what you're doing. Yeah, it's not like they're going
Right.
to come up with a new strategy for you.
Right.
Now, how do you choose your ring attire?
So you mean for LFC?
Yeah, for the LFC. Yep.
So I had went and lingerie shopping, and I got 3 of like the most gorgeous, like pretty skimpy. They're all like a thong with my butt showing, but you got to show off your assets. Anyway, so I tried on and picked out and bought like 3 of these super sexy lingerie outfits, and I made a video of me doing this in the dressing room, and then LFC posted the video to take like a poll and votes to see which one I should wear.
That is awesome. So
yeah, kind of letting the fans decide.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're the first one to do that, I understand.
Oh, yeah, cool. I just thought it would be a good idea, let them choose. And then apparently, like, if I let them choose, then I'm going to end up looking the best because, the people are always right. The fans are right.
Yeah, well, that sounds great. I mean, how does it feel? Well, I mean, you've already had fans in boxing for so many years, but how does it feel to have such dedicated, passionate fans?
Oh, man, there's nothing like it. It's a big ego boost. Kind of makes you feel important. Yeah, it's certainly like a motivating factor, and it keeps you going and working hard.
Speaking of working hard, I understand you have a workout channel.
Yeah. I've been running it for a year now. So I'm on all the social media platforms and just try to update it every day. And I teach boxing, and then, sometimes I might do some like wrestling on there and try to keep up with the current trends and stuff. If you can make it if you can post regularly in the social media world, then maybe you can, get monetized on every platform, and that'll allow me to quit fighting one day.
Definitely. The other thing, I'm just throwing this out here because we had her on the show a while back, Chris Cyborg. I know that's a little crazy, but yeah, because she does the same thing. She's got her own channel and all that. Calling out somebody like that.
I was trying to convert her over to LFC.
Exactly. Yeah, because she's even got her own OnlyFans page, and I can't figure out if it's because it's fighting stuff or other stuff. But I think calling her out could be the way to get a big payday. Yeah.
So certainly brings some attention with the name.
Oh gosh, yeah, because that's the thing about the channel. We've had some fun ones over the years, so we're excited about having a Hall of Famer like yourself on, talking up LFC, talking up boxing. I mean, it's just a phenomenal organization that you work for now.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to be working with them.
Definitely. Yeah, I was going to say, my only thing is with them being on the West Coast or, out in Vegas, I haven't been able to experience an event live, but I can imagine that is one heck of an experience.
Yeah, for sure. It's in many different ways because, some of those girls, they're good fighters. And so they're actually more of a real fighter than a lot of the WWE girls because they don't have fighting backgrounds. And a lot of these girls do have, judo, jiu-jitsu backgrounds, mixed martial arts backgrounds. And then me with my boxing background. So you've got, a lot of the like regular pro wrestling, that's the first fighting experience that they have. And this isn't the case. So you're getting some experience, but then like also a criteria is you got to look hot in lingerie. So, there's more than one aspect that's going to make it enjoyable to watch. And
exactly. It's the best of both worlds.
Right.
Awesome. Well, before we let you go, let's give out the social medias, the websites, all that good stuff.
Oh,
so
cool.
Our fans,
yep. So I'm on all platforms. It's Hollie with an IE, and my website is holliedunaway.com.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us, Hollie.
Thank you. This was fun. I appreciate it.
Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom has products in stock and available to take home today. With 5 stores and almost 40 years in business, they are Ohio's appliance experts, and they help you to get the right product at the right price with a huge inventory. You can save 30 to 60% every day on everything from Bosch and Viking to LG, GE, and KitchenAid at unbeatable savings and in stock. Plus, Mattress Kingdom inside Appliance Factory has everything from Tempur-Pedic and Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and DreamCloud mattresses in stock. Stop by any one of Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom's 5 Ohio locations today or visit online at appliancefactory.com.
Good morning, Dreamhouse Nation. James Lewis of TDH. Joining us today is the Cincy Wrestling champion, Carson Drake. Carson, thank you for joining us today.
I bet you are thankful because you have the greatest professional wrestler that the nation has to offer on your show. I mean, round of applause to you, honestly.
Yeah, we're quite excited. We're all about talking up your big event, Cincinnati Wrestling Invades Jeffersonville, Indiana, Friday, March 10th. Tell us a little bit about that.
That is right. So in the main event, I threw out a challenge to none other than UFC heavyweight, former champion, NWA World Heavyweight Champion, legend all around, Dan Severn, after beating him at our last event. I threw out a challenge saying that I will defend the Cincy Wrestling Championship against anyone of his choice. And he goes out and he picks one of the baddest men to come out of Indiana, a guy who really made his name at the arena, which is where we're wrestling, Matt Diesel. So right now, the main event for Cincy Wrestling is going to be Carson Drake with Omega Day by my side against Matt Diesel and Dan Severn at ringside.
So is Omega somebody new, or is that fellow you've been coming to the ring with?
Omega's he came to the ring with me at the last show. He's actually the guy that brought me into professional wrestling. And I know that he would love nothing more than to get his hands on Dan Severn. And if you ask me, Dan better watch out.
So what does it mean to you to be the Cincy Wrestling champion?
I mean, in the name, it essentially it shows that I am the best professional wrestler that Cincinnati or Ohio has to offer. And when I travel out of state and I win titles in Tennessee and I win titles in Denver and I win titles in California, I mean, slowly I'm just becoming the single greatest fighter in America.
Sounds awesome. Now, your buddy Omega, he has a big match coming up as well. Party Mike and Blake Money Wright. Any thoughts on that match?
I feel bad. You see, because if Blake Money Wright and Party Mike decided to team up on Omega Day, it would still be a handicap match in Omega's favor. I mean, this man is an absolute animal. He was trained by a guy named Vic the Bruiser, one of the baddest individuals to ever exist. And he trained one of the baddest individuals that now exist. And that is why me and Omega are so close, because we're both two bad individuals.
Now, of course, you have the main belt in Cincy Wrestling, but there are several other belts of prominence. The Dreamhouse champion, Icon Lee and Gaston LaRue. Any thoughts on their match?
There's been a lot of stuff going around with that. They really do hate each other. Me and Matt, I don't hate him. I'm sure he hates me, but how can you not be a hater when somebody this good exists? But when it comes to Gaston and Icon Lee, I know for a fact they really do hate each other. So I wouldn't be surprised if during this match, Gaston's usually a very formal and nice opponent. He does everything by the book, but I wouldn't be surprised if he started doing some underhanded tactics, some closed fish shots were thrown, some eye gouging happened. Just so I would have a referee at ringside, honestly, to keep watching this match. This is one that I'm personally excited to see.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of hate, there's one person in that match that doesn't hate you. Icon Lee, he had nothing but great things to say about you, was impressed by your championship run, and he was talking all kinds of great things about you earlier today.
Really? Well, Icon Lee, he's been the Dreamhouse champion since Cincy Wrestling was invented, and he has defended it every single time and has yet to lose it. I just hope he is not underestimating Gaston LaRue in this endeavor.
And then, of course, the other title matches. You got a tag title match, GKFAM, and the Soul Shooters.
GK Fam.
Mm-hmm.
GK Fam is easily one of, if not the greatest tag team in the world today, and they have yet to be signed. And honestly, I do not know how. Piper and Donnie GK Fam, those are two special individuals. Me and Chris Allen beat them for tag titles in a very long, thought out promotion. But with the time that we fought with them for those 6 to 8 months, I learned that those two are one of the greatest in the world.
Exactly. I mean,
but they're not better than me.
That kind of seems to be the trend in Cincy Wrestling, that you have amazing talent, great wrestlers, but then again, none of them are as good as you because, that's why you're the champ.
Exactly. And when you have a champion of my caliber at the top, I personally feel like it makes everyone want to do better. I'm an inspiration is what I'm trying to say.
I'm impressed with the upcoming Cruiserweight title match. Avery Hurst and Brennan Bates. I think that's going to be a great match.
I'm sure it'll be a great match. Personally, for me, it's a title I'll never be able to touch because I am a grown man. But without a doubt, I've wrestled Avery Hurt. He's a dangerous individual. I've been in there with Brennan, a dangerous man as well. But personally, I think I should be put in there. I think we should get rid of the weight division and just let me claim another one.
I was going to say that is kind of an interesting thing. Icon believes in belt collecting as well. So he mentioned some of the belts he would like to crossbreed or cross-brand with the Dreamhouse Championship. And so it sounds like both of you are very passionate about winning championships in the Cincy Wrestling.
Oh, I mean, that's what it's all about. It's all about the money, the belts, and the women, and in that order. Because with belts comes more money. With more money comes more women. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't even have enough pants at my house for the amount of belts I have. It's outstanding. But I would definitely like to add maybe in the future add the Dreamhouse Championship to my collection.
Nice. Yeah, I was going to say that would be perfect. Title versus title. I think that would be a great match. You and the Icon. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I was going to say just getting tingles.
One thing I wanted to jump on, Matt Diesel put out a video where he's at this press conference and people are asking him how he feels about the match and he's talking smack and he's acting all high and mighty like he's not 5'8". and 160 pounds. I don't see Matt Diesel doing radio. I don't see Matt Diesel going onto TV. I don't see Matt Diesel defending a title week in, week out, every single month. I wrestle for a living. This isn't just a hobby like all these weekend warriors do. I do this 5 days a week, every single week, traveling. Saturday, I'll be up in Ohio at War. Sunday, I'll be in Indianapolis. Next Tuesday, I fly out to Colorado. On Friday, I come back in and fly out to California. It's a never-ending job. And if Matt Diesel thinks for a second that he's just going to walk in and just have a match with me, it's not going to happen.
Well, that is awesome. Carson, we're excited, of course, about the big event. Cincy Wrestling invades Jefferson, Indiana, Friday night, March 10th. Before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web, where can we find out more about you and Cincy Wrestling?
So you can find me on Instagram at Carson_Drake_. You can find me on Facebook at Carson Drake. I'm the only one that pops up, obviously. You can send me money on Venmo if you like, because I know people like me at Carson-Drake-8. Who doesn't love that?
That is awesome. It has been a pleasure having you on the show today, champ.
I bet it has.
Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom has products in stock and available to take home today. With 5 stores and almost 40 years in business, they are Ohio's appliance experts, and they help you to get the right product at the right price with a huge inventory. You can save 30 to 60% every day on everything from Bosch and Viking to LG, GE, and KitchenAid at unbeatable savings and in stock. Plus, Mattress Kingdom inside Appliance Factory has everything from Tempur-Pedic and Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Dream Cloud mattresses in stock. Stop by any one of Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom's 5 Ohio locations today or visit online at appliancefactory.com.
Good morning, Dreamhouse Nation. James Lewis of TDH. Joining us today is Dave, the Arena Dude. Dave, thank you for joining us today.
Great to be with you guys.
We are excited to have you on today to talk up Nationwide Arena, to talk up NCAA basketball. I understand that Columbus is hosting the first and second rounds on March 17th and 19th. Is that correct?
Absolutely true. St. Patty's Day weekend, does it get any better?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. Yeah, I was going to say you got the fun of college basketball, but then, yeah, you got St. Patty's Day weekend. Wow. Yeah, to see the two of those things collide, that should be quite interesting.
The Arena District will be hopping for sure. It's going to be a great time. You know, we've actually had March Madness at the Arena. This will be the 5th time. Going back to 2004 is the first time, and then most recently in 2019. But it's always great. And then on the days when it lines up with St. Patty's Day, it just takes it to the next level.
Wow. Yeah, that is phenomenal. Yeah, I was up there for the 2019 coverage, and that was great. I mean, it was one heck of an experience. I mean, you guys definitely make people feel welcome at the arena.
You know, it's really important to us to keep the building up. You know, it's a 20-year-old building, right? But we are constantly doing renovations and looking ways to improve. And then to see, you know, for me, a Columbus local who has watched, you know, what Nationwide Arena was, right, where it was in that area where it was, you know, a closed down prison, right? And this horrible part of downtown to be this vibrant arena district where, you know, there's over, you know, 100 bars and restaurants right around the arena. It's just so amazing to see how the entire city has come alive, and it becomes a great environment for fans when they come down for events like March Madness.
Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, I didn't know it had such a historic tradition, but you're right. I mean, shoot, I always think of it as when the Blue Jackets started up, but you're right, they've been going for a while now.
Yeah, 20 years plus, right? And we celebrate. We had big plans for the 20th anniversary of the arena.
Oh,
and then
nice.
The pandemic hit. We would have been having our big celebration, so we're looking towards 25 now. But yeah, it has been just an amazing run with the Blue Jackets and, of course, all the live events. And, you know, March Madness is just a special time because so many people come in from around the country. And we don't know who's coming. And so which just makes it kind of fun because we find out just like everybody else does on the big selection Sunday, March 12th. So we'll find out who's coming and to see the different teams and fan bases that come in, it really always gives each time its own unique flavor.
Exactly. It's kind of like Christmas on that March 12th where you're unwrapping your presents and seeing who's going to be there, who's not, you know, what fun matchups do you have?
Yeah, it's fun because, you know, sometimes you get, you know, obviously, a team with great history, and sometimes you get an Iona, and they can equally be exciting. And we've had some great luck with, you know, we hosted Dayton back in 2015 and, of course, Cincinnati in 2019. So it's always fun to see who's coming in and get to see a team live that maybe you've never had the chance to see live before.
So why is the Nationwide Arena such a great place to watch basketball?
You know, it's a hockey arena, right? So why is it? It's a great question. But, you know, the big thing that really makes it a great place is, you know, the atmosphere in the district, right? I think it's just again with all the bars and restaurants in the area. So especially for March Madness, you know, where there are multiple sessions, you know, on that Friday, and you can come in and come out. You know, if you leave after the first session, you want to go step right out, or you want to hang out in the plaza. There's so much going on, right? There's just so many things happening and so many choices. And then once you're in the arena, I got to tell you, there's amazing. I did some for the arena social media yesterday. I did some cool behind the scenes videos on some of the new food options, like the loaded pretzel bites, where they've got like just giant chunks of sausage sitting on tops of pretzel, drenched in cheese. It's just so good. There's so much great food in the arena too. And our team, I got to give it up to our ops staff. They've just done a great job of keeping the arena up to date. I'm an arena nerd, right? So I love to visit arenas around the country. And yeah, some of the newer ones that just opened, like the Moody Center in Austin, they've got some of the new bells and whistles. But I got to tell you, Nationwide Arena holds up. It's just been very well maintained, and we've been really lucky to have the city and the support of the community be able to allow us to do that.
Definitely. Yeah, I was going to say, I always love going up to Columbus in March for the Arnold, but now love going there just as much for the college basketball.
Yeah, you know, and there's so much love for college basketball here. Obviously, a lot of Ohio State fans who may not be having the best season this year, but they love college basketball, right? And the region does, whether people coming from Cincinnati or Dayton or even, you know, from Cleveland, there's just love for college hoops and that excitement. And when you're there, it's just, you know, even if you go to a lot of college basketball games, there's nothing like being at the tournament in person.
So why is it important to buy your tickets early?
Well, they go really quick, right? So there's good and bad news, right, is that, you know, yeah, the tickets go quickly. If you're trying to wait and see if your team's going to be in, it may be too late. We're already down to just a handful of tickets here and there for the different sessions. So it's definitely when those cities get announced. Usually you can go to the NCAA website and sign up for, you know, information to know exactly when they go on sale. But it's definitely, they go quick because that is a hot ticket. But even still, you know, if you didn't get in on that, there are still some opportunities. There's some some great resale, and there are some VIP packages the NCAA does that include like things like on-court photo ops and stuff. They're not cheap, but if you really want to go, they're there for you. And what's cool is that, there's something for everybody. Even if you just want to come down to the district and view and watch it, the bars and stuff, you can still soak in some of the madness that way.
Exactly. Like you were saying, I mean, there's such great food at the arena. You probably don't want to leave the arena, but if you do decide to leave the arena, you said, I mean, there are so many places to eat and to party. Tell us about those.
Yeah, right outside our doors, we have, everything from, the North Market, which is kind of like what you see in other cities where you've got like these little vendor booths and stalls with, 20, 30 different shops there with all kinds of international cuisine. But right outside the arena, you've got places where you could just go get a beer and a pizza and some wings. And there's just, like I was saying earlier, there's about 100 bars and restaurants within steps of the arena.
Oh, wow.
So it's really great. And if you want to pre-pick where you're going, arenadistrict.com will kind of give you the full overview on, the local restaurants and bar scene.
I mean, it just sounds so amazing. It's a must experience. With you were saying it was being St. Patty's Day weekend. I mean, it just doesn't get any better.
No, it's great. And the city's been kind with us to help us with DORA, which is not the Explorer, but it's the designated outdoor refreshment area. And you can have some, it allows you to carry some beverages outside and do some things on our plaza as well beyond the bars and restaurants, which is pretty cool. Again, obviously, we've been through it. I'm sure you've seen it snow on St. Patty's Day in the past. So you just never know in Ohio, right? But that's the great thing too, is there are so many options. So with the district being hopping and downtown and the short north and the campus area, there's so many great places to stay and eat and enjoy downtown. I do want to say one thing real quick about just being careful about tickets, right? Mm-hmm. So this is not a plug for Ticketmaster. This is not me vouching for Ticketmaster. But what I'm saying is, if you do want to buy tickets, you really got to be careful on the secondary market, right? Because sometimes that's how we see people get burned on hot events. And there's nothing sadder than a father and son who have come to the game and they go to the gate and their tickets aren't valid because they bought them from somebody who was trying to scam them. So the NCAA does have some great resale, some fan exchange that they can do, especially, sometimes people's teams get bumped out in the first round and maybe they're not going to be there for the Sunday games. So just check out, if you go to nationwidearena.com, we have the link there for the fan exchange tickets, and you can be sure that the tickets you're buying are legit.
That is awesome. So Dave, before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web, where can the Dreamhouse Nation learn more about you and the Nationwide Arena?
Well, Dreamhouse Nation, you can always find me at Dave the Arena Dude on Instagram. That's where we post a lot of our fun stuff that we do. We had, Adam Sandler just last night at the arena. A lot of fun. I know he was in Cincinnati recently as well. But we give you behind the scenes and backstage scoop and the inside details on when shows go on sale. But honestly, if you want details on March Madness or any of the events coming to Nationwide Arena, it's simple. It's easy. nationwidearena.com.
That is awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure having Dave the Arena Dude as our guest. Thank you for joining us today.
Really enjoyed it. Anytime.
Appliance Factory in Mattress Kingdom has products in stock and available to take home today. With 5 stores and almost 40 years in business, they are Ohio's appliance experts, and they help you to get the right product at the right price with a huge inventory. You can save 30 to 60% every day on everything from Bosch and Viking to LG, GE, and KitchenAid at unbeatable savings and in stock. Plus, Mattress Kingdom inside Appliance Factory has everything from Tempur-Pedic and Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Dream Cloud mattresses in stock. Stop by any one of Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom's 5 Ohio locations today or visit online at appliancefactory.com.
That wraps it up for this week's show. Hope you can join us again next week for this Dream House. This has been James Lewis. Enjoy your weekend.